Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Glad that you're here this morning. Welcome to a brand new week. Let me turn on the music here for you. How's it all going? You guys have a good weekend? Oh, good morning, Mary, Joseph, Kay, Georgette. Good morning. Insurance guy, what's up? Good morning, John, Jeff, Hot Rod, what's up? Disciples for Christ, good morning. My weekend was good. What did we do? We watched a Super Bowl. We watched the Olympics. We was able to go outside. We did some. I threw the football with my son a little bit. Did some flag football stuff. My kids are getting older now, so they're constantly doing stuff. Market's dropping right now. I did take a pre-market trade right here. I'm already out of it. I got in right there. Sold for 20, and then I held a runner down to this low right there. So it was about a 46-point trade. Off the breaker, off filling the hourly fair value gap. We'll go more in detail on some of this stuff. I'm bearish on the day. I like to see prices move lower and move well below this, but I'm waiting now for the market to open. Maybe give us a reaction and then see if we can take a trade lower. Increasing, do you mind increasing your volume? Let me see. I cannot increase my volume anymore. I can make sure I'm speaking into the microphone a little bit better. The microphone is all the way. Might be the other speakers. Yeah, let me turn those down. Maybe that's too quiet. Where's my music? There it is. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll have a good day today. Let's open in prayer. Father, we honor you this morning. Thank you for your goodness and faithfulness, Lord. Thank you for your provision in our lives. Lord, I pray that you would direct our steps today. Lord, that we would be good stewards of your resources. Father, that we would work hard, that we'd be diligent. Father, that we would not give up or give in, but Father, we would persevere, that we would stay the course, that we would stay focused. Lord, I thank you that you are faithful, and we honor you in today's live stream. May this glorify your name in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, folks, let's take a look at the market. Why don't we? We're going to jump up to the weekly first here, and let's pull off the, you can see the trade that I took if you want to. It's right there. So there's my entry off the breaker. Sold some right there at 20 points and then held down to here. So nice little trade. Traderooski there. Pre-market. Gave me everything that I wanted as far as my setup goes. But from a weekly perspective, we are going to mark our weekly high and low from the previous week. You can see where the midpoint is for that week. Okay, pretty much consolidation. Nothing here that we can really use. Lots of wicks. So we're going to drop down to the daily and see what we got here. Friday, we came back up into the daily fair value gap. We've swept the daily high And I'm looking for price to run to the midpoint. That's what I'm targeting. That's what I want it to run into. And we're talking 300 points to that level, so we're not really in a rush. That'd be a phenomenal trade to get 300 points. We'll see if it wants to do that. We've reached the bottom of this consolidation range. So if we have the mentality of rotating, of it staying inside consolidation, I would anticipate it to move into here. But just a key note here, if you mark that high and you tag that low, you hit the midpoint right here. So we've already retraced 50%. It's why I'm considering this rolling over here. We've hit 50%. And then if we drop down even lower, we now have another 50% level from this leg higher that I want to see it run into, sitting right here. So my interest from a higher time frame perspective is we moved lower. We've retraced up to 50% of this leg. And I want to see it retrace down to 50% of this leg. Now, this is not my model, but I've taken lots of these pieces. This is from Trader Kane. This is how he trades. He looks and waits for price to reach 50%, and then he tries to trade it into 50%. Now, how we enter, that's where we can differ. And I actually would not trade to the equilibrium. I think I'd go to Friday's midpoint. So I'm using the same logic to frame a trade, but I'm going to use my own entries and own positions to take the trade that I believe is there. So dropping here, marking out our hourly or 4 hours, we have the 4 hour fair value gap. I really would like to see this level ran closed below by 10 o'clock. That's what I really would like to see. Close below by 10 o'clock. If we do, good sign that that's going to be in the crosshairs. Dropping down to the hourly, we have reached up into this hourly fair value gap, and we filled it. Okay, so the trade that I took was based on it filling this hourly, hitting this order block right here, this 1 minute order block. And then it gave me a breaker to the downside. And that's what I took. I was already looking for shorts and I saw all of this and this. And I was like, well, I think we could potentially go lower. So again, that 4 hour fair value gap's right here. We need to close through. Let's go ahead, drop down to the 15-minute, mark our London highs and lows because I have not done that yet. This will give us some more context. London low has already been ran. Okay, let's mark midnight open. And then we will also mark our opening range gap. I've already marked our new week opening gap right here. You can see those lines right there. I think I'm going to change the color of this right now to be gray so they're not as prominent. For the previous whoops. It's 60 points. It's a 60 handle opening range gap. It's large, decent size. We have a sweep of an hourly low here. Let's go to the hourly. So technically it was an hourly, but it's not an hourly. This technically would be the hourly. So we have an hourly sweep down here. This was part of the reason I was looking to see if we wanted to go higher here. I actually took another pre-market trade, but it was so early. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get out. It gave me 40 points, but I closed it and didn't trade it. This has a large wick right here. From an hourly perspective, we don't have any fair value gaps on the 15-minute here. Everything's covered. Do we got anything on the 5-minute? No. Yeah, there's one small one way up here. If I'm honest with you, I'm not interested in 930. Yeah, I'm not interested in 930. I'm not gonna trade 930. We got another fair value gap down here on the 1 minute, right down here. I think we'll probably reach that. All right, so here's opening price. We'll get our opening range gap marked. So there's that fair value gap that I marked out, filled right away. Let's see if it wants to continue lower. My anticipation is it's not. We're not going to sweep that low, but we just made equal lows. There's the sweep. And there's the move to the downside that I said I was wanting. We still got plenty of room for us to do something with this. Am I dressed for hunting? It's just a green with a green vest and a green hat. I like the color. The opening range gap is found by going to the regular trading hours. And then you will see that gap right there. You see that? From the last candle from last week to the opening price here this morning at 9:30. $9.30 model technically played out, but I'm glad I didn't take it. Okay, is it working? Are you able to access all of the course materials? Trader Grind, I'll get that to you. Yeah, they told me that one person wasn't verified, so I was just waiting for you to get back to me. Okay, looking at the 15-minute fair value gap, we just wicked down into that. From a 15-minute perspective, there's more way down here, but I'm looking for that fair value gap right here to close. And this is really our target. This is really what we're looking to participate in, is the move down to there. So we filled the opening range, the new week opening range gap. Look at this right here, this price action right here, okay? Look at this, and look as it's filling up, what does it fill right here? It fills the new week opening gap, which also overlaps with a breaker, okay? That's sign, that structure is beautiful here. We just have the volatility off of 930 that I want to let work itself out so we get some clarity on where it wants to start moving towards right now. But ultimately, I'm looking for a trade that goes down to here. That's what I'm looking for. And we'll be patient. We'll be patient. We'll wait. I need to get my other stuff set up here. We're going to continue off that conversation of last week on Friday. Capital preservation. That's what we're going to continue to focus on. What's up, all set? Do I use swing failure strategy? I watch swing failures, but I don't use it as a strategy. I use it as confirmation. It's not a strategy in itself. Swing failures tell me price is wanting to move the other direction. But a swing failure is something where I don't want it to sweep the low. So I wouldn't call this a swing failure. I'd call this a sweep of liquidity. 5 a.m. We just swept 5 a.m. on an hourly basis. So we're going to mark that down here. I feel like somebody messed with my stuff. Marking out ES right now. Trying to pull up news here for the week. Monday, no news today. Tuesday, we have retail sales. Wednesday, we have unemployment. Thursday, unemployment claims. And Friday, core CPI. Okay, so today is a potentially a consolidation day, especially being Monday, and we're pretty full this whole week. So we're going to be careful not to anticipate any major breakouts and look for it to roll back into the consolidation area. I like the sweep of liquidity right here. I want to wait for this 15-minute candle to close, though. I'm going to wait for it to close. 5-minute gave us a nice large fair value gap. We did close above the last 5-minute fair value gap here. You can see this. So it is a signature for a long, for sure. But it could retrace back into this range and then continue higher, or just decide to roll back into this range. But either way, I'm okay waiting. We did get a nice hourly sweep. You can see that right here. So that's a nice signature for a long. What we'll get here in 20 minutes is how we close above this hourly. That will be a bigger indication, as well as this 4-hour. Do we close higher or lower from this 4-hour fair value gap? Because, I mean, even though I want it to roll over, it may not. It might want to continue, and I could have the wrong bias, and I need to be aware of that. Over the weekend, I also spent a lot of time refining my strategies on Tradezella. I feel like I'm underutilizing Tradezella, and I've wanted to refine my strategies and my entries and my logic in my trading. And I had a ton of clarity, not by my own doing, but through just going through that and working out some details with ChatGPT. Extremely helpful. So I'm really excited about tracking more of my trades, because I'm not just lost in a sea of data. I have very clear details and very clear criteria of how I'm tracking and I'm taking my trades. So I'm really excited about it, because I thought I used Tradezella as a journaling tool and a backtesting tool. But now it's like I can really refine my strategy and know which one of my breakers are actually the most effective. Because I take breakers all over the place, and some of them fail and some of them win, and I never knew how I could actually track that without having like 30 different breakers. But now I have a whole system that I put together with ChatGPT that is going to help refine that. I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be a part of the taking my trading to to the next level, so to speak. Tradezella. It's a journaling tool. If you don't or haven't heard about it, you can find a link down in my description. It will give you a discount if you want to check it out. We did have a breaker right here. I'm going to remove this hourly sweep. We can use London high and midnight open as a reason to take a trade to the upside here. We just filled our opening range gap. We did inverse that 5-minute fair value gap. Honestly, what I think I'm interested in is price closing here and then coming back down and filling this 5-minute fair value gap and also giving us a breaker confirmation. And I might consider that as a trade. So you'll see this 5-minute right there. That's what we're waiting, what I'd be waiting for it to drop into. And if it drops into that, what do we also have here? We also have a breaker sitting right there. So if it doesn't want to give it to us, it doesn't have to. It could just pump higher and we'll just sit on our hands. We got midnight open sitting right there and London high sitting right there. I don't backtest on treadmills. I backtest on Tradezella. Now this would be really nice. Here's midnight open. I like the idea of it stopping short and giving us a retracement. If it gives us that, I am very interested in taking that trade. We have no more liquidity down here, or no more imbalances down here. It's just liquidity. This leaves us only 1 point of liquidity or imbalance. It's the 5-minute. So if we can do that and it shows us support, I'm not afraid to try to take that against my initial bias. Because my bias is down to that level. Let's see if I need to refine my daily bias. From a daily perspective, I did mention that we could just come back up into this range. We did reach the extremities or the lows of this consolidation range. And we did create an order block here as well. So I take back what I said. I would probably say my bias is bullish, but I really like the idea of us coming down to the daily fair value gap to then start moving higher. So I need to refine my higher time frame bias. The fact that we got an order block right here is a big deal on the daily time frame. I can't ignore that. So I have to give myself and I have to give myself the I shouldn't say I have to give myself. I have to not ignore the obvious. And the obvious is we just had a green candle engulf the previous day candle. That's bullish. That's a bullish sentiment. So I can't ignore that. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I can do that. Maybe I'll go over that Thursday. So if you're interested in that, I probably will make a public YouTube video on it. But before I ever do that, if you guys want on Thursday, we can go over how I refined the breaker and how I'm tracking all those details inside the Academy on Thursday during our backtesting live session. Yeah, I know, Ted. I know. If y'all was going to take the breaker, I should have took it right here. Right when it gave me the order, that down close candle. Right into that level. Right into the inversion fair value gap, to be honest. That's actually not bad execution right there. Look at this inversion. And then look at the little kiss before it moves higher. Right? So we blow through it, create an inversion, and we come back down and tag it. Tag it again, and then we leave. But hey, I'm in it to win it, baby. Let's see if it comes back down here. I like that. I'm probably not going to take it on the first run. I probably will look for some additional confirmation. Maybe like a 1 minute change in state of delivery or something like that. That's the other thing too. I've figured out a way to track because ChatGPT was able to help me clarify that I'm tracking behavior. I'm not trying to track everything in the market. So I'm trying to track behavior. If I'm taking a trade off the breaker, do I take it on the first tag or do I wait for additional confirmation? I can track that now. And then I have the different confirmations that I'm tracking. And then it's able to tell me how often those confirmations work. If the initial tag is profitable for me, am I being fearful? Like, I'm able to track that now. It's really, I think it's really cool. I also put it together for the inversion fair value gap. I also put it together for the inversion model that we use. Your light blue area has another green candle with a fair value gap. Does that count? Your light blue area has another green candle. That's this candle right here. It's a 1 minute fair value gap, but I'm waiting for it to run into the 5 minute. I'm sitting on the 1 minute time frame, but this blue fair value gap is for the 5 minute time frame. So I'm just watching it in context of the 1 minute chart. Yeah, but if you've noticed, I'll notice that there's a first tag, there's a second tag, and then sometimes there can be a third tag before the big move, or the third tag blows right through it and it's not a breaker at all. So now I have ways to track it to see, yeah, it might be more explosive, Ted, but is it profitable for me based on my habits? All right, so there's the tag into that 5 minute. I'm going to wait. See if it wants to come down anymore. Or if it gives me a 1 minute change in state of delivery, I can use that as an entry as well. So my bias is to the upside. I do and would prefer it to run lower to tag the Friday's midpoint. I think if we start failing through this area, that could be a real possibility. We also have a bearish breaker right here, but we also have a key level that has been untagged. I'm going to take one contract here, and if we keep dipping back down in there, I might add another one. But in case it wants to be explosive now, I'm going to take the trade. London high is 215. Midnight open is a little higher than mine. Wow, my midnight open is higher. That's not good. Did it wick that? I hope it didn't. I bet you it did. Oh my goodness. It wicked it. That was the reason for the retracement. I had the wrong level. Ruh-roh. Thankfully, I'm not red. Logic's still the same, but that makes this less attractive. If I'm honest with you. A push higher is less attractive when we wick midnight open. It's a good close on a body. Let's see if it can give us another expansion higher here. As soon as we inverse this fair value gap, if we get that, I'm going to move my stop to break even. Otherwise, my stop is going to be at this low for right now. Actually, I did say I was going to add to the position, didn't I? Let's see how this plays out here. For whatever reason, I got a gut feeling it's going to fail. But I'm not going to let my gut play in this. Five minute here, we've dipped into the 5 minute fair value gap. We've tagged midnight open. London high is still right here. We have 2 minutes before 10 o'clock here. From a 15-minute perspective, we did create an order block here and swept liquidity. I mean, that's pretty good reason to just let this trade play out here. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does fail, it's not a bad setup. Even if it does I'm not a fan of the wicking of midnight open. Honestly, if there's one thing that just is unsettling, it is that right there. Order blocks on the daily time frame. That's the only order block I've been talking about, I believe. Are you talking about this right here? It's a feature on TradingView that allows me to write on my screen and then it fades away. I don't think there is a true ICT kill zone indicator that produces good results. Yeah, the way this is looking, unless we get a big candle that it just closes right now, I'm not liking the structure. This is 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. If this goes from green to red, I will close the position. There's no reason for me to stay in that. I'm closing that position. I'll wait for a better entry. I don't like that 10 o'clock closing like that. And if it runs without me, that's fine. I'm preserving capital. It didn't give me what I wanted to see right away, so I will get out of the trade. Another option for re-entry is if we actually start closing above this inversion fair value gap right here to the upside. Right? You can take that right there with the anticipation it runs into London high. But we've been consolidating right here, and 10 o'clock candle gave me a not a good signal, especially at 10 o'clock. That I just don't like that. And I'd rather preserve capital, wait for a better entry if it wants to give it to me. I am targeting London high. We have a daily affirmation for you guys here today. We have a good one spaced out of the book of Proverbs. Always a solid book to get wisdom from. If you want to get that, hit the like button. Once we hit 75 likes, we will do our daily affirmation. Yeah, I'm happy to sit out of this right now. I'm not liking this back and forth price action. Do 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 do. All right, so see that close there? I'll take an entry long here. See if it gives this to us. I'll be bummed if it doesn't give it to us. That looks good. The initial impulse to close above this inversion, we have a swing high and a draw on liquidity. Consolidation, a breakout of that consolidation. Could be manipulation to go lower, sure. But I'll take this inversion and see if it wants to go. London high is 215. Stop is at break even now. We should take profit on one. I'm going to take profit on one contract here because we are at break even. We swept that high. Whoops, there we go. All right, so I have, this is a free trade now. We swept the high. If it wants to come back and tag us out, that's fine. We have a free trade on the table. We're targeting London high here. My target's slightly above London high. We have previous day high as well. We'll see how it wants to interact, and I might manually close it, but the target is London high. And there's more room to go, to be honest with you. But we're targeting London high here. I'm on Take Profit Traders funded accounts. Daily bias is bullish. 1 micro right now. I sold one already. I don't trade large size. Most contracts I'll take typically is 5 micros. That's fine with me. Spread that across 5, 10, 20, 30 accounts. I don't have a problem with it. I'll slowly increase size over time, but I'm not in a rush. Position is the bottom level here, right down there. My stop loss is also sitting right there. And my target is up there. I'm watching the white screen for price to hit this blue line. And depending on how it reacts there, I'll decide if I'm going to manually close it or not, or let it push kind of higher into the previous day high, which has not been tagged after 9:30. This is London high right here at 309. 309 is my London high. Well, your indicator's wrong. Or it's based on different logic. It doesn't matter if it stops me out or not. We're just going to keep our hands off, not let our emotions get involved on cutting a trade early or anything like that. This is proper trading. Keeping your emotions out. You might feel the emotions, but keep your emotions out of it. Let the trade play out. Let the target that you have set be the target you wait for. Move your stop to break even. Reduce your risk. Let the trade play out. And here's going to be London high. We'll watch how it interacts with that level here. There it goes. Patience was everything, right? There's the tag. I'm going to go ahead and close it. Now, how many of you sat through this holding that position? How many of you sat through that and held the position? This is something that's extremely important to be able to do. Maybe you did it, maybe you didn't. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Being able to hold for your target based on the logic that you set needs to be able to play out. Sure, I could have held it longer, but that wasn't my trade. What was my trade? My trade was that it would run into, why does this look wrong? What happened? I feel like people have been messing with my stuff. NQH 2026. You have to allow your strategy to play out without touching it. And I already determined that I was going to wait for this level. So I have to let the trade play out. Because there's going to be other instances where if I don't do that and I cut the trade short, I could have FOMO. It's easier to say, I'm going to stick to my plan, I'm going to stick to my process, than it is to, in the moment, be like, oh, I'm missing the trade. I really want to do this, but I'm not going to do it. It's harder to deal with those emotions than simply saying, I'm going to follow the plan because I've already predetermined what I'm going to do. Predetermining what you're going to do will save your account in so many different ways. It'll save your position in so many different ways. So we had the right model from the beginning. We wanted to see it to dip into the 5-minute. I wanted it to go a little bit lower. It didn't. I wanted it to tap the breaker. But we started consolidating, and I'm like, at 10 o'clock, I'm like, I'm not going to mess around with this. So I got out inside of this consolidation. We got in when we had confirmation that we were breaking out, when we closed above the inversion. We moved our stop to break even when we ran the high. And we sold one contract and held the other through the consolidation into our target. That's a solid trade. That's a solid trade. You can scale on a trade like that. No, I trade futures. I changed my bias. I mentioned it publicly here that the daily order block created a bullish scenario for the market to move higher. I'll re-show it. I went back to look at the daily just to confirm I wanted my short bias. And when I saw this candle actually closed above this down close candle, I changed my bias to long. All right, we need 15 more likes and we'll do our daily affirmation, folks. I always trade micros for my targets. My daily goal, I'm happy. I can be content if I make over $200 per account, but sometimes I'll go more. I'll hit 400 or 500. But if I'm feeling off on the day and I'm green, and if I'm over 200, I probably won't take another trade. I don't need to. 200 on just five accounts, that's $1,000 in one day. So Daily affirmations are something we do here on our live stream. My live stream is going to be a lot different than anybody else's that you've probably experienced. We don't allow trash talk. We don't allow being critical or negative here in the chat. And we do affirmations to build each other up. Okay, so if you like that idea, hit the like button. If you like that idea, subscribe, be a part of the community, because nobody's growing when we're tearing each other down. There's people that will say stuff that I just won't respond to, because I'm not going to have a negative attitude or bring other people down. Now, I might disagree with you and be like, dude, you're wrong. I'll be blunt, but ultimately, we're here to encourage each other. Okay, we're here to lift each other up so that everybody here is profitable. Because I tell you, the biggest battle is between your ears. It's not the charts. So if I can help you believe in yourself that you can become a profitable trader, you're that much closer. Strategy is part of it, but most of it is your belief system. Do you believe you can become profitable? Do you believe that you can do this long term? And I tell you that negative talk, a critical spirit is not going to be a part of that. So I will mute people, throw people out. I really don't even care. I don't even care. I don't care if you're doing it. Well, I'm just trying to expose the truth. I don't care. There's a better way to do it. Sometimes I'll trade power hour. All right, so we've hit our target. Let me get the stuff ready and we will, or not our target. We hit our like limit. So let me get that ready here. I was almost done with it already. So I stole a picture. One of my favorite pictures, in fact. How many of you guys have seen the picture of the men sitting on the beam working in New York? I think that's one of the coolest pictures. So I stole that picture. I stole it. And we're turning it into an affirmation. All right, here we go. Today's affirmation is based on Proverbs 14:23. I'm going to read it to you. And then we will do our affirmation. Proverbs 14:23. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. Here's our affirmation for today. Isn't that just such a good picture? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me just expand that a little bit. Today I work diligently and with purpose. I do not shrink back from effort or discipline. My hard work is not wasted. God honors diligence, and my consistency is producing progress, growth, and provision. We do these affirmations so that you can take these. If something resonates with you, take it, screenshot this, copy it, take it for your own, put it in your mirror in your bathroom, quote this over yourself, tell yourself these affirmations. Today I work diligently. Tyler, you're going to work diligently today. You're going to work with purpose. You're not going to shrink back from effort or discipline. Your hard work is not wasted, Tyler. God honors it. He honors diligence, and your consistency will produce progress, growth, and provision. You got this, Tyler. That's how I talk. That's how I talk to myself. I'll look at my eyes. I'll tell myself those exact things. In fact, as I'm looking at you, I see my face because I have a teleprompter in front of me so I can see my face. I can see things that I want to look at. So I'm looking at you, and I'm actually telling myself this thing right now. I'm looking into my eyes as I say this right now. Right now. So, take this. Don't you love that picture? Isn't that such a cool picture? Anyway, be blessed with that in Jesus' name. All right, Ted. God bless, my friend. Yeah, James, I follow Patrick. I do. I don't watch his stuff, though. It's just, I can't do it. He's a personality. It works for him. He has a huge following as a result of it, but I can't do that, and I won't do that for a following. I want to be counted faithful. I want my character to be what shines, not necessarily the words that I say or the entertainment I bring to a live stream, you know? You bet, Joe. God bless, my friend. It depends. Kai. Is that how you say it? Kai? Kai cuts? It depends on... I can tell you what I have set for my personal account. On my personal accounts, I have a max daily loss automatically set. It will automatically trigger if it hits $120. If it hits $120, it will cut it. So with one, and it's worked great for me. It's worked great for me on my personal account. I primarily trade prop firms, but I've been very interested in growing my personal account lately. I started with $500 in the account, and I'm up to $4,500. I don't trade it. I try to only take one trade a day. That doesn't always happen. But like today, I took one trade this morning and made $200. So I'll be done on that account. But that $120 is all I would allow. If I'm in drawdown on a funded account, that's probably what I would do as well. But on a funded account, I have a stop loss for 250, or my max daily loss. I'm not telling you what you should cut it at for a specific trade. I'm telling you what my limit is for the day. If I lose $250, whether it's one trade or 10 trades, If I'm down $250, I'll stop for the day. Have I broken that rule? Yes. Has it benefited me to break that rule in the past sometimes? Yes. Has it hurt me immensely? Yes. A rule is about protecting you in the worst case scenarios. So you forfeit some of those best case scenarios. It takes time, Georgette. It takes time and extreme discipline, and I keep trading it. But I'm determined to do that because if in the rare scenario prop firms don't exist anymore, I need to be able to have the mental fortitude to trade my personal account because it is different. It is different. Well, I know how both of you guys feel. When I first started trading, I had like $50,000 and I brought it down to $5. Oh my gosh, the Lord is good. I don't think so, Sonus. That's why. This is why I'm learning to trade just my personal account. Because with my funded accounts, I can stick with one micro, but I can trade 10, 20 accounts all at the same time. That's nice. That's leverage without the emotional drawdown, the emotional pull. With a funded account, with a live account, I can't do that. I'm going to actually have to take larger size, and I'm going to have to see the actual numbers, and I'm going to have to deal with those emotions. So that's why I'm doing this, because I know I have not built that muscle on my personal account side. Trading funded accounts is completely different. I could blow all my accounts right now, and that would have cost me $500 if I blow the 5 take profit trader accounts that I have. It's $500. But you lose on your personal account, that hurts. One day you have a $400 loss, that's $400 in a single day. That's no bueno. All right, my friend, Dakpano. Can you explain the drawdown rule for take profit trader? Yeah, just don't lose $2,000. Don't lose $2,000, Arrow. And then if you are up $1,000 on the day, it's based on what your ending position is on that day. So if you are up, let's say you start at 50,000, you make $2,000, but then you lose 1,000 and you're down to 51,000. Your drawdown limit, your max loss, will be based on the $51,000. So you can't go below $49,000 now. Other accounts like Apex, if you had it, which is a trailing drawdown, if you would have reached $52,000 and then you ended the day at $51,000, you'd be in $1,000 of drawdown. I do not speak Spanish. No español. No hablo español. 18 months, Pickle. And I say this every single time. So everybody here that's been here for a while has heard me say this same thing over and over again. Becoming profitable doesn't mean that you don't have drawdown periods. It doesn't mean that you're profitable every week or every month. It means you're consistently moving in the positive direction, taking payouts. You're going to have days, weeks, months of drawdown that you're going to have to overcome. That's just part of being profitable. So don't think, oh, I'm profitable, I'm never going to have to deal with this again. That's not true. That's a lie. It's part of the process. It's part of the growth. Arizona, I'm in Nebraska. What's up, Tyler? Good morning. All right, let's see if there's anything else going to come up. The market's going to give us another macro period here at 10:45. We'll see if we can get anything from that. If not, we'll be done on the day. There's a 1 hour and 4 hour sweep right here. This was our sign to take a long. This was the sign. This was the higher time frame confirmation for longs working out. We found our breaker, took our breaker. And it played out. No, Kayford, I would not say that. Here, and I'm not saying that it's not it. I'm just saying we can't determine that at this point. Look at the daily. All of this is consolidation, folks. It just happens to be a massive 2,000 point range. So you can't say we're in a downtrend when we're in consolidation. Could this be a retracement? Maybe. Could it be a reversal? Maybe. I did, but I got it refunded because I'm in the process of opening a business account with them, and I'm going to do it on that account. 80% of the time beyond 1010, there is no reversal. Do you got anything you can point me to on that data taken? I'm not saying I disagree with you. Here's one right here, 1015. Move lower and we move higher. Or are you saying we consolidated till lunch? I'd say I just don't know. $10.15, that played out. That one played out. That one played out. I don't know what you would call that. It looks like straight consolidation at 10.15. Here's 10.15, and this one moves initially lower but then retraces for the rest of the day. So 2 out of 6 times I've seen it retrace. This has retracement initially, but then moves higher later in the day. I think there needs to be more criteria on that would help give some legs to that. I think there might be something there. All right, so on the 5-minute time frame, we have this retracement and we closed above it, and now we have a fair value gap sitting right here. There's a good chance we don't touch this, to be honest with you. It could just move higher without actually touching anything, but we'll see. That if I was going to take a long, this is where I'd want to take it. I'd want to take it from the retracement into that 5-minute fair value gap. I think we're on side for higher price action, but at some point you're going to get a retracement of some kind. And here's another 5-minute fair value gap way down here that we haven't touched. So you're doing basically a 40 handle stop loss for an 80 handle win, roughly. Give me 1 second, folks. Saying bye to my wife. Not necessarily. It just depends on the type of trade you're taking, Alan. Like the trade that I took. The trade that we took right here. The inversion that we took to the upside. I would have never done a 40 handle stop loss on that. Ever. My stop loss is different on the different strategies I trade. So in this scenario, all right, so this is the trade we're going to look at. The question is right now, on an inversion trade, where do I place my stop loss? If I'm taking an inversion to the upside, I'm taking the trade when it closes. My initial target is the swing highs. So my initial target is only 25 handles. I'm not going to take a 40 handle stop loss on something like that. My stop loss on an inversion is always a close below the inverted fair value gap. In this case, it would be 22 handles. 22 handles. And then once we hit our initial target, I'm moving that stop to break even. And then I'm targeting the higher target, which was London high in this case, which was 52 points. So we took a 52 point trade for 2 contracts. Initially, we had a 22 handle risk, which comes out to be what? 80 points, an 80 point stop loss or 80 tick stop loss to target 200 ticks. So I do my stop losses based on the structure of the market. I'm not just doing a standard stop loss and take profit. You can do that. That's just not how I trade. I'm trading based on I'm going to stay in this trade until until the structure is not in my favor. When price closes below this box, structure is not in my favor to run this high without running lower first. So as long as we stay inside that fair value gap, I'm in the trade. When we move higher and we hit that swing high, we could roll over at that point, and I don't want to take a loss after we hit that swing high. So I move my stop to break even, and now it's a free trade for 52 handles. And my risk is nothing. So depending on the strategy you're trading should determine what and how you're managing your risk. That's just, if you're learning from me, that's how you're going to get it from me. I'm not going to do a standard 40 point on every single trade because this trade wasn't designed for a 40 point stop loss. It was designed for this quick swing high, and then we hope that it wants to continue higher. In this case, it did. So does that answer your question? Good. Now, if I'm taking a breaker, let's go to the breaker I took this morning. I took this breaker right here. I took this trade. This is not a move your stop to break even type of trade unless you want it to be. That's a style of managing your risk. Take a partial, move stop to break even. That's a style of protecting, of risk management, of capital preservation. I do that. Some people won't move their stops at all. That's okay. That's a strategy. That's how they manage their risk. So in this breaker trade, I went short right when we came up and tagged that breaker. My initial stop was basically the inversion of this fair value gap right there. Let me mark it for you. If we would have inversed this fair value gap right there, I would have closed the position. Because in my structure of breakers, many times I will see price come up into those inversions, the inversion fair value gap in the price leg that made the higher high. There's the drop. Many times it will come up and reach that. So I want to allow for that. So that's why my stop loss is above it. Now, it's not if it wicks above this, it's if it closes. I do based on closed candles, not wicks. Because too many times wicks will do the damage, the bodies tell the story. So if the wick comes up, stops me out, but the body goes back down, the wick did the damage to me. I'm out of the trade. The body's moving lower and now I'm not in it. So I don't close trades based on wicks. I close trades most of the time based on the closed candle and where it's closing. There are some scenarios where I'll prematurely close that, and that's usually due to a very volatile candle that's just exploding higher or lower, and I'm like, I'm gonna close this. I don't want to find out. And I will tell you, sometimes it's saved me, other times it's hurt me, because guess what? It goes up and then comes right back down. So I try to wait for closed candles. So in this case, it was pre-market and I wanted to run for this swing low right here. This was my initial target, was that swing low. So my target was 21 points. When we hit that target, I sold 2 of my contracts, held a runner, moved my stop to break even, and I was running for that low down there for 47 handles. I reduced my risk, but maintained the opportunity to try to get a bigger trade. It didn't stop me out, thankfully, but I ended up closing it because I had to take my son to school. It was on this next candle right here. It moved higher. It was really close to my take profit right here. And my son had to be at his school by the top of the hour, and this was 8:55. So I just closed it right when it closed on this candle here and didn't wait for it. So I ended up getting 39 points on that trade. But my risk on that last contract was 0. And in fact, I never went into drawdown on that trade. Those are always nice. Those are always the most enjoyable trades to watch. The trades that you don't go into drawdown in. How do you sell individual contracts on Tradevate? You trade your contract size. So here, let's go to the screen. All right. So you can see right here, you can change the number of contracts that you want to trade right here. If I was to take a sell right now, I don't even know if I want to do that. Let me look at it. Sure, I'll take a sell. So I can sell 2 contracts right there. I'm 2 contracts short right now. When I close one, I can just hit the buy button and it will sell only one contract for me. And now I'm down to one contract. And then I can just sell the next one whenever I want. Just like that. Right next to it is right below it is these letters ATM. ATM is off. You can create bracket orders. So if I want a 20-point stop loss, I've already created it right here. So I would set this entry right here. And then boom, I have a stop on the high and a stop on the low. I can move those. I can make them tighter. I can do all kinds of different things, but it automatically puts those out for me. You have to, if you want to move them around, you need to do them individually. If you do two contracts, then you will move two contracts around. Yeah, you want to turn it off if you want to sell them separately, because then it will, every time you place a new trade or sell a trade, it will put in those the stops and take profit levels as well. I like Tradify. My top three prop firms are Take Profit Trader, Tradify, and Apex. I'm going to do a video on those. I'm going to talk about my top three prop firms for 2026. You can always use the code DTJ, folks, if you ever are looking for those discounts. I mean, I have fiber. It's not, it's a setting there, Tyler. It's a setting on take profit or on Tradevate on how you want the candles to move. I'm 90% positive on that. It could have been, that could have been on Thinkorswim, that's how it was, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. All right, friend, take care. At this point, what I'm looking for is if price wants to give me a wick here and move lower to give us more of a retracement down into this area down here. And that's really the only thing that I'm interested in taking right now. Main reason is we've swept the highs. We're inside a 4-hour fair value gap. We have an internal high. I want to see if this external high wants to stick around for a little bit. So I have an internal high that we have not swept yet. We made equal highs to, and then we have the external high right here. It depends, Taken. What, I don't know what you've been trading or not. If you want to learn ICT concepts and you want to be able to have a language for why price does what it does, then it will help you. It also gives you access to the Discord to be a part of the community and the private live streams that we do there. I only trade indices, but it does apply to Forex. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I forgot. I'm still on that screen. I'm waiting. We have this line right here. This is an internal swing high, these two red lines. So we have an internal swing high here and an external swing high there. I'm looking for it to run this internal swing high and then roll over, leaving this one for a short period of time. We might get some consolidation till noon. If we do that, we might be done for the day. I would say that's for every trader taken. It's for every trader. Discipline is the number one reason people aren't profitable. It's not because of a strategy. However, sometimes if a strategy clicks for a person, it can help with their discipline because they believe in a setup. Does that make sense? It's not a replacement, but it can assist in that process. Well, it's more than just boys. There's all kinds of traders in there. Boys and girls. I don't know what the ratio is, though. This is from a creator on YouTube. Their name is Lo-Fi, or what is it? Lowly FM. Is that not sharing? There it goes. This is Lowly FM. As long as it's binary. Yep. Yep. Men and women. Brothers and sisters. I haven't. Actually, I saw one that was in Miami recently that I'm like, man, if I knew about that in advance, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to go to it, but it would have been nice to know so I could go to something like that. Yeah, I still have it. It should be on the screen below it. I don't have the hats for sale. I had to custom do those. The platform won't let me sell these. You got it, disciple of Christ. Yeah, see this consolidation? We don't want to do anything. It's probably better to just get off, accept the money we've gotten for today, and then come back another day or another session. All right, so see that sweep? We technically didn't sweep it. We ticked it. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are live on YouTube. Tuesdays are a private live stream, and Thursdays is going to be an extended live stream. That extended time could be trading. It could be back testing. This upcoming Thursday, we're going to be going over Tradezella and some of the criteria I'm using for tracking my trades and how to be more precise in your journaling. so you can see what's working and what's not. We're going to be going over that. Same time. So it starts at 9:15 New York Standard Time. We're going to call it a day anyway, folks. I'm going to call it a day. We got 2 minutes till the time I normally would be getting off anyway. So we'll be back here, private live stream tomorrow. If you're interested, you can find information about the Academy down below. Use the code DTJ for any prop firm discounts if you guys are interested in that. God bless you guys. Stay safe. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We will see you all soon. Bye-bye.